Sometimes it feels like the internet works using magic, but that couldn't be any further from the truth. Well, it could probably be a little further from the truth. Have you heard of the International Cable Protection Committee? They actually exist to protect undersea cables from being damaged by anchors and nets. And that's because the internet relies on huge undersea cables, which, as it turns out, are kind of vulnerable.
Wait, are you telling me that the internet is not in space?
Not all of it, no.
We're not. I mean, we talk about the cloud, we talk about Wi-Fi, everything's out in the air, and you're saying that everything's under the sea.
So Wi-Fi is how I'm connected to the internet right now, but the cloud is actually underwater.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sebastian from The Little Mermaid had it right all the time.
Imagine The Little Mermaid if they added undersea internet cables. It really wouldn't be any different. As reported by The Conversation, we've laid lines of cable about as thick as a garden hose on the very bottom of the ocean floor. And they carry the world's internet, phone lines, even TV transmissions between continents. At the speed of light, by the way. One cable can carry dozens of terabits of information every second. Only a few companies in the world lay these cables, and they're usually funneled along narrow paths. But when one is broken, you can say bye-bye to your data. In January, the nation of Tonga in the South Pacific was completely cut off from almost all cell phone and internet services when a 514-mile underwater cable broke. Officials said it could take up to 2 weeks to fix, which makes it an economic disaster for their tourism and other business communications. In today's world of Wi-Fi and the cloud, you might think undersea cables sound silly, but like I said, that's where the cloud is, under the ocean. Fiber optic cables are about as state-of-the-art as you can get, since they encode information using light. They're also faster and cheaper than satellites, which can be affected by weather changes, while the cables just keep humming along. Now, this story isn't all doom and gloom. These days, we cover cables in steel armor and bury them under the seafloor near shores, where there's the most threat from humans. And there's been very little sabotage in the history of undersea cables. The other nice thing is that information can just be rerouted a lot of the time. There's so much redundancy in places like here in America, for example, that you probably wouldn't even notice a single line breaking. But for other places like Tonga, 1 or 2 cables can be all they have. No matter where you live, it kind of makes you look at the ocean a little differently, doesn't it?
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you say my Twitter's complete?